in Pocahontas County and Randolph County. And the reason for the route changes, and we talked about this in the past, we ran into some issues in the Mon National Forest with some endangered species and some other habitat issues, which requires us not to abandon that route, but to consider an alternate route. All the routes that we have filed before the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission will be considered by them moving forward. They make the decision, working with us, working with the agencies, which route they would prefer, given all the variables that they have to consider in the resource reports that we filed. We will amend our resource reports that we provided them early on in October with information that we get when we do our surveys out in the field. We will be doing an open house at Snowshoe on March 10th. We invite general public, affected landowners, elected officials, stakeholders to attend that open house. And with me today I have several folks, Ben Hardesty, who you've met, and others, raise your hands now, who are dealing with our land issues. I thought if there was some questions that you have, they are here to answer those questions. The route that you see in front of you will probably change. That's part of the process that we go through as we go look at, we have to get out there on foot, we have to look at the issues that they may present, buildability, the resources that are on the ground, invasive species, wetlands, things of that nature. And my sense is that we have started this process a year ago. This is an evolving process, and the map that you have in front of you most likely will change. So with that said, we're here to answer any questions that you have, and feel free to ask others that are here as well.
I have one question. I was brought to attention last night that you all tried to pass Bill XV596 and failed. And that was to allow you all to enter property without the landowner's permission, Billy, wasn't it?
Well,
because of the case in Monroe County that you all lost, that stopped you all from entering private land without permission unless you had an approval from the beginning. Is that not true?
Well, first of all, it wasn't our case in Monroe County. That was an EQT case. And we wanted to clarify the law in West Virginia that very narrowly defines the scope of the opportunity for us to do surveying. That bill actually did fail in the Senate yesterday. Would have, with written permission, allowed us to enter on someone's property. Two different types of written permissions. One, seeking permission, and secondly, notifying when our surveyors would be on the property.
So in other words, without this bill, somebody doesn't want you on their property, they don't have to allow you.
Well, that's not true. We have the right to take them to court. That case in Monroe County probably will be heard eventually by the Supreme Court, and they will find. We can go into a lot of detail about that case, and that's not Dominion's case, so I can't speak on behalf of the individuals that filed the case or have the case before the courts. But the answer is yes to your question. The answer is yes and no. I think we have the total. The Supreme Court will ultimately decide on the merits of that case, and I can't address specifically the merits of that case until the Supreme Court addresses it.
I'm a citizen.
I guess it's not a question.
And it wasn't. Excuse me. Let me also clarify something for the record. That wasn't my company looking to pass that bill. It was the industry that was looking to pass that bill.
But it was your company pushing the bill in Charleston.
Well, we push lots of bills, but they're not necessarily our bill. It's an industry bill. We supported the bill, if that's what you would like me to tell you, yeah.
This is not a question, but as I told you before, when you said this alternative route, I mean, the commission did support the beginning route through the northern part, which was the least impact through the county, especially from my look at it, that I think there was 9 landowners, which none of them ever came to commission and opposed it. And to us, or to myself, I feel like that's the only route that at this time I want to support. But these other commissioners, I'm sure they have their own opinion, but I want to throw that out in front that, I mean, that would be, in my opinion, the least impact, shorter route, less cost to build the pipeline, and going this route through the county, I've gotten nothing but emails really upset opposing it, and I feel strong that this route is not best for the county.
Well, I encourage you to go on record before FERC with those positions, and as I've indicated all along, our open communication is important to us, and as we followed this route, I think it was important enough for me to be here to listen to your concerns as well.
But I'm sure these other gentlemen have their input into it and like to make their comments.
How many extra miles is that in the county line?
Well, it's 30 miles total. I'm not sure how many extra miles in Pocahontas County itself.
It's several there.
Yeah, it is several. Most of the route change is in Randolph and Pocahontas County, and it actually takes in a new county in Virginia, Bath County.
So that impacts a lot more private property.
There's approximately on the whole route 250 additional landowners, property owners.
And plus Seneca State Forest.
And Seneca State Forest.
That's a new forest. Due to that huge change and the impact on more private land, and I'm sure a lot of opposition with those landowners, I'm like Bill, I would support this northern route and encourage FERC to reconsider that. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
I mean, you're close to Snowshoe, major tourist attraction in the state. And I'm not sure how close you're coming to it, but it's too close, as far as I'm concerned. But I would support that northern route and encourage the other commissioners to relate that to FERC. That's about all I got.
One question I was kind of interested in that's been brought up by a few different people. What is the county's income level as far as the change, and what do we actually benefit by the pipeline going through Pocahontas County? I think maybe it was a transfer tax or something.
Well, we pay a property tax, and the county is a net beneficiary of the property tax that we pay. Obviously, increasing the length in Pocahontas County will increase the amount of property taxes that is collected by the county itself. Net benefit, obviously, more jobs to be able to construct the project. It'll be good for the local economies during the construction phase of the project itself.
So as far as the amount of gas that flows through that line, do we benefit anything from that, or?
Meaning?
A royalty like what goes through the
No. That is not, that's never been the case on any pipelines that I've ever been involved in my career.
So when you're talking about the property taxes on it, is that property tax that reverts back to the property owner that's increased, or is that a property tax that Dominion would pay separately for?
Yeah, Dominion is taxed in West Virginia as a public utility. The Board of Public Works assesses a value to that pipe in the ground, the actual steel that's in the ground. That Dominion then will pay a tax, is assessed a tax by the Board of Public Works. The Board of Public Works collects that tax. It is remitted back to the county where that property is located.
And do you have an idea? Because I was thinking at one point the original pipeline proposal, it was brought up that it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.2 million.
Yeah. Eventually, As the line value increases over time, it'll increase. I think the value was about 1.2 at the highest level for Pocahontas County. Now, we have not done any additional assessments on the increase of property tax values on this new route. And the primary reason why we have not, and obviously as I indicated at the very start of my discussion, this route will change again. I know there's several other alternates that are being considered as we speak. But until we can get on the ground, until we can meet with the property owners, until after our open house, we'll continue to consider those alternates. And as I've indicated in the past, we are open to suggestions. This is a process that's a public process. As you see this route or other routes, or if you feel that it's non-biddable routes, or you have a suggestion for another route, we'll please let us know. And we have the folks here that can answer questions in addition to the ones that you're asking right now specifically.
But as far as that tax, that would be a yearly tax that's paid just like your property tax, is that correct?
That's correct.
From now on, as long as the pipeline's there?
Yes.
Okay.
And the full impact there would be when it starts working.
Yeah, as soon as, and it's a ramp up value to a point where, and it's a formula.
Right.
It's not necessarily just the value. You have depreciation values, you have income values, you have a lot of other variables that go into the tax collection itself. And it's assessed by the state, it's not assessed by your local assessor. All public utilities in West Virginia are assessed in that manner.
I have one comment. The importance of the pipelines of West Virginia. I know Pocahontas County is not going to get a lot out of it, but West Virginia will. There's a fellow in the legislature, when he talks, I listen to Woody Ireland. He's the Energy Committee Chairman. He spoke the other day about the pipeline, and he said when these start working, there will be $200,000 per day coming into the state of West Virginia for severance tax. That's a lot of money. West Virginia's in dire need of some funds. We're $400 million budget deficit. To me, it's a win for West Virginia. When that man speaks, I listen to him. So, I'm finished.
I think the other comment I'd like to make, I feel strongly going through more or less the center part of the county, that the county's going to have an impact as far as on EMS services, law enforcement services, maybe county road services. That's a big concern of mine, is that there's nothing in it that's going to pay for those extra costs that comes through the county. And somewhere, it looks to me like we ought to work out some kind of agreement that will pay for some of those services that's going to be needed in this rural county that's hard to come up with if it's going to have to be put through the center of the county, which I hope it doesn't. But I still feel strongly that the northern end, like I said before, affects 9 private landowners, the rest of it's on Forest Service, which could be wildlife habitat. I think strongly that that's the way that we need to make it go through. But I don't have any other comments.